everyone, welcome back to Angel's Cooking Diaries. Today we're going to make donuts. I'm so excited about this, homemade donuts. And we'll see how we get on. So I've got 120 mils of milk there, and I've weighed it in the same bowl because it's easier, and 40 grams of butter or butter spread. And what I'm going to do, just very quickly, because as with making a lot of dough, or most doughs, it's good to have warm liquid. So I'm just going to warm that up. In the bowl we've got 280 grams of strong flour, 40 grams of sugar, and a good pinch of salt goes into the flour like that. Now hopefully the milk will be just slightly warmed. You don't want it hot because you'll kill the yeast. Let me just test it. Yeah, it's just warm. And now what that will do as well, it will melt the butter. So give that a good little mix and chuck in 40 grams of sugar, and then the yeast. Let me see, have I got a pair of scissors? 1 bag of yeast, 7 grams it is, 1 bag of, oh, that didn't open very well, did it? Okay, let me open it, 2 seconds. Okay, here we go. So 7 grams of fast acting dry yeast, and just mix it in with the milk and sugar, because what that will do is the warmth and the sugar will start the yeast activating. Okay, so we'll leave that there just while we're ready. Now, with donut dough is what's known as an enriched dough, so it will have an egg, just the 1 egg. Okay, let's get it all out. Okay, 1 egg. Now, to start off with, we're gonna mix it just to bring it together with the mixing hook. And then we'll knead it with the dough hook once it's all come together. So a nice medium speed, and pour in the butter, yeast and sugar, and let it all come together. Now, donut doughs are a very loose, wet dough, you'll see, as it mixes. You may have seen my other videos making bread, where the doughs are not quite this loose, wet. Okay, now, as with all doughs, that is actually, for my liking, a little bit too wet. So I'm just gonna pour in a bit more. I had that flour there ready for dusting later, but it's just too wet. So, okay, so we'll call it 290 grams. Just bring it together. Donut doughs are meant to be soft, but that was literally running, so just make it a bit harder. So this will bring it all together with the mixing. Okay, now, as with all doughs, it's important that they get a really good knead. So, once again, we're going to use my machine to do the kneading. It's still a nice wet dough look, even with the extra flour. But I'm going to change the hook, and I'm going to put in a dough hook, because what that will do is that will knead it for us, and I'm going to actually leave it mixing for 10 minutes because, as I say, it's important that it gets a really good kneading. stretches the dough as explained in other videos, and it just helps you have a nice elastic dough. So we'll leave that going for 10 minutes. I'll come back and we'll get on to the second stage. Okay, welcome back. So it's been kneading or mixing for a good 10 minutes, maybe even a bit longer if I'm honest, but that won't do it any harm. And as you can see, we've got a nice elastic dough look. Let's take it off the hook, and then you don't have to do this bit, you could just take it off the hook and plonk it back in, but I like to just give it one final knead. If you do it by hand, obviously you're going to need to knead it for a good 10 minutes, but I like to form it into a ball like this, and then plonk it back in there. Try and have a look at the size of it. Oh, one thing, I forgot to add a pinch of nutmeg, which I added as I started to knead it, okay? So when you add the flour, a pinch of nutmeg just for flavour. Now we're going to cover her up. I'm going to leave her for an hour to prove up nicely, and that's it. In an hour's time we'll come back and we'll start the shaping. Okay, welcome back. So I've just had a quick look myself, but look at this. I would say it had easily doubled in size, and it's nice and airy. So first thing we do is give it a good knead and just knock the air out of it nicely like this. Bear with me while I rearrange the camera. So yeah, that's it, knock the air out of it. Now I'm going to use a little bit of flour just to stop it sticking, but before we do that, what I'm going to do is prepare just a bit of greaseproof paper, and I'm going to put it on this side. I like to turn it round so it doesn't roll it. Put it on this side, and what we'll do is, this is where we'll place the donuts once we've cut them, and what that will do is it will enable us to move the donuts nearer to the fryer when we got to the frying stage. Okay, so just to stop it sticking, just a little light dusting like this. Turn it over so it doesn't stick on the rolling pin as well, like that. Okay, now you want to roll them. You want to roll it to, I would say, not a super thin thickness, because they're donuts and I like nice thick donuts, but just roll it out. You're gonna have to really give it some, sorry about that, the camera fell off where I've got it being held. Bear with me, let me try and get the, you know what, sorry about that, the camera went flying, so I'm going to have to hold it with one hand and try and do it with the other. It should be alright. What you'll find is it will shrink again as you roll it out, so you've got to give it some really good pressure and get it nicely rolled out, nice and thin. Okay, that's, I would say that's about right. Then donut cutter, just cut through. If you go close like that, look, that means you can get as many donuts as you can out of one rollout. Even though, again, once this finishes, I will knead the dough together and roll out again, and then cut donuts out again. So maybe should we get one? Look at that. Yes, we'll get one out then. So there you go. So how many we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 out of that little bit. And then obviously donuts, just cut the middle out. But don't waste the middle. I'm going to put the middles again on the grease-proof paper. I'm going to make little donut bites out of them when we get to the frying stage. Okay, so there's your idea. Cut out the donuts, and then what I'll do next, as I say, I'll knead the dough together, roll it out again, cut out a couple more donuts, and I'll come back. Okay, welcome back. So I've got the 7 donuts, cut them out, put them in the grease-proof, and I've had an idea. We're not going to do more donuts. I'm just going to make that there. Just 3, I think. Yeah, we'll get 3. So I'm just going to cut them into stripes and then do this. Oh, and just like that. And these are, let's put them on the grease-proof. They're yum-yums. So we're going to make some yum-yums as well as donuts. So again, just cut them into strips and twist them over like that. And make some yum-yums. Okay, in all honesty, the actual work that goes into making donuts isn't that much, but it does take time because of all the resting, because now this is going to have to rest again for another hour for them to double in size. So I'll leave them, we'll come back in an hour once they've doubled in size, and we'll get frying. Welcome back. So the donuts have been resting, proving for about an hour now. Look, you can see they're nice and airy, and they've grown. So what we're going to do now is put the oil on. It's basically a litre bottle of sunflower oil, but really important is the temperature of the oil. If we get that wrong, the donuts will either suck up the oil if it's too cold and be really oily and horrible, or they'll burn and not cook. So we're looking to heat the oil up to 180 degrees. I've got my little thermometer. Let me just give it a go now just to see. Just turn it on. Oh, okay, there we go. Hopefully you can see that, and it hasn't turned on. There we go. Blimey, picked up the heat. Anyway, so if we put it in, at the moment, it's 35 degrees. Give it a mix. Yeah, we want that to go up to 180. So while that's happening, we're going to make the glaze. Now, there's no real measurements with glaze. You just got to play it by eye. But just to start off with, I've got 400 grams of icing sugar and 100 millilitres of milk. And I'm going to add 2 or 3 drops, not a lot, of vanilla, just to give it a little bit of taste. Start slow. And I'm using the machine and this bowl, because as you'll see once the donuts are fried, it's actually quite a good sized bowl to get the donuts dunking in there. Nice and slow. And let's have a look. That's it really. That's the glaze made. So the measurements seem to have worked quite well. Yeah, that is a nice consistency. So I'll let the rest of it drip off the whisk. But yeah, that worked quite well. So 400 grams icing sugar, 100 millimeter milk. Let's test the oil. It's going to be a while yet. Look at that, it's up to 60. It's going up quite quickly actually, look. So let's just get a couple of utensils ready for the frying. Okay, let's try the thermometer again. How are we doing? What's it looking like? Okay, we're nearly halfway there, but as you can see, it's going up quite quickly. The oil will heat up quite quickly. And as soon as we get to the desired 180, I will then turn the heat down so it just maintains the heat. All right. I'm going to stop the video and I'll come back when the oil's at the right temperature. Let's have a look, shall we? As I said, it should be at 180 or thereabouts. Look at that, 177. The last few degrees actually take a bit longer, but we're there or we're thereabouts. So I'm going to turn the heat down, just so it maintains the heat. And we're going to fry one donut at a time. So that's the first one. We'll do two at a time, sorry. And really you just want to fry them till they're golden brown. But as I say, if the oil got a lot hotter than this, they'll just burn and they won't cook in the middle. So let me check the temperature of the oil, make sure it's staying at the right. The temperature will go down slightly when you, obviously, because you put in donuts in, but look at that, it's leveled off, I think. Yeah, it's at 180, so that's all right. So as you can see, they're browning off nicely. We have a look. Not quite ready yet. Give it another minute or so. But you can see they're cooking, look, the inside, because it's getting lighter, which means the dough's cooking nicely. So look at that. They actually look really nice, didn't they? Okay, should we try it? Use the side of the pan as support and just turn them over. Look at that. Don't they look nice? So we'll just wait for these to fry. Then what I'll do is I'll pause the video here. Let's put a couple of these donut bites in as well. Get them all fried off. Oh, little donut bites. But yeah, once these two donuts are fried, just to show you, then I'll pause the video, I'll fry them all off, and then I'll come back and show you the glazing. Hi, so welcome back. As you can see, all the donuts have now gone. Look, they're all over there frying, but I'm going to move them over to this side so we can glaze them. Whoa. Okay, in the frying pan, I've just got the last 3 yum-yums frying away. So what we do, it's really simple. Just get the donut, dunk it in, turn it, and as you can tell, I've put the cooling rack above the grease-proof paper because it'll be a nightmare cleaning this sugar off the surface. And then just dunk them in, one at a time, straight out. Let me quickly take the yum-yums out. Lovely, there they are. And just as I say, dunk them in, turn them round, whip them out. Dunk it in, turn it round, whip it out. Dunk it in, turn it round, whip it out. I'll finish doing all of them and we'll come back to see what they look like. Okay, there you have. Okay, there you have it. Look, all the donuts have been glazed. They're still quite hot though. I wouldn't. See, you know what? I'm going to try it. Let's have a look. Ready? Oh, lovely. Oh yeah, really nice. I've got to say. Well, there you go. Glazed donuts, yum-yums and donut bites. I hope you enjoyed watching this as much as I enjoyed making it, and certainly as much as I'm going to enjoy eating them. I hope you have a good evening, morning, day, weekend, week, wherever you are. Please like, subscribe. Any comments are welcome. Any requests are welcome. And see you again tomorrow. I've got a special one lined up for tomorrow.